The 2026 FIFA World Cup has a problem, and his name is Ousmane Dembélé. Think about how quickly everything has changed. 3 matches ago, Dembélé had never scored a World Cup goal, despite playing 11 matches across 2 previous tournaments. Today, he has 4 goals in his last 2 games, a sensational first-half hat-trick against Norway, and his name now sits alongside Just Fontaine and Kylian Mbappé as only the 3rd Frenchman ever to score a World Cup hat-trick. But this story is much bigger than one incredible performance, because while everyone has been watching Mbappé, Didier Deschamps has quietly transformed France into perhaps the most complete attacking team at this World Cup. A simple tactical adjustment has unlocked Dembele, Michael Olise has found his rhythm between the lines, Desiree Doué and Bradley Barcola continue to stretch defences, Mike Maignan is making decisive saves at the other end, and France have stormed through the group stage with 3 wins, 9 points, 10 goals scored and only 2 conceded. Now comes the frightening part. France are heading into the knockout rounds on the toughest side of the bracket, where Germany, Spain, the Netherlands, Morocco, the United States and possibly Portugal could all stand between them and the final. Yet, after what we've just witnessed, the bigger question may not be who France have to face, but who actually wants to face France. So how did a player with 0 World Cup goals suddenly become one of the most dangerous men in the tournament? This is why the entire World Cup suddenly has an Ousmane Dembélé problem.
France didn't just win Group I, they grew into the tournament. 3 matches, 3 wins, 9 points, 10 goals scored, 2 conceded. By the time they walked off after beating Norway 4-1 in Boston, this no longer looked like a team surviving the group stage, it looked like a team that had found something. Because France didn't begin this World Cup looking untouchable. Against Senegal, the final score was 3-1, but the first half told a different story. Senegal were compact, aggressive and disciplined without the ball. They squeezed the central areas, protected the half spaces, and turned it into exactly the kind of game France didn't want. Too many touches in crowded zones, not enough depth from wide areas, not enough clean separation between the attacking midfielders. The talent was obvious, the spacing wasn't. Dembele and Olise were drifting into similar pockets. Doué also wanted touches between the lines. Mbappé remained the obvious reference point on the left, but Senegal's narrow defensive block made France's attacks feel congested. Individual quality was clearly there, room to use it wasn't. Then Deschamps adjusted. Dembele moved wider to the right, Olise tucked into a more central role, and suddenly France had a cleaner attacking picture. Olise between the lines could receive on the turn, connect passes and pull markers inside. Dembele now had space to isolate defenders one-on-one and cut inside onto either foot. And with Mbappe's gravitational pull on the left, teams couldn't just load up one side. Shift toward Mbappé and France switch quickly to Dembele. Push toward Dembele and Mbappé attacks the space behind. Drop the midfield onto both and Olise finds the pocket between the lines. 3 problems, 1 structure. That was the unlock. Against Iraq, it clicked. France won 3-0, Mbappé scored twice, Dembele got a goal and an assist. The attack had multiple routes now, not just one predictable channel. Against Norway, it became a statement. Norway were already through and rotated heavily. Haaland and Odegaard both left out of the starting lineup. France still had to do the job, and they did it with real authority. Mbappé hit the bar inside the opening minutes. Dembele scored in the 7th, added another in the 20th. Norway pulled one back through Arsgaard, but France didn't flinch. Dembele completed his hat-trick in the 32nd, Tchouaméni with the assist, then Doué added the 4th late on, 4-1. The bigger message wasn't the scoreline, it was the structure behind it. Mbappé still bends the whole game toward him. Defenders track him before the ball is even played, fullbacks drop deeper, centre-backs shift across. But that attention now creates the opposite side problem. Dembele is finding space, Olise is picking pockets centrally. Doué and Barcola give France extra runners in behind. Width, depth, central creativity and transition speed, all in the same team. The Senegal match exposed the issue, the Iraq match showed the correction, the Norway match showed the ceiling. And the ceiling might be higher than anyone else's in this tournament. 10 goals in 3 group games, maximum points, top the group, and still giving the impression this attack is only just starting to understand itself. That's the part that should concern every other team left in this World Cup. France aren't just Mbappé on the left with everyone else waiting for moments anymore. The pieces are fitting together at exactly the right time. But this isn't actually the biggest story.
For almost 10 years, France waited for this version of Dembele. Not the talented version, everyone saw that from the start. The decisive version. The one who could take all that speed, balance and two-footed unpredictability and actually convert it on the biggest stage. The talent was never in doubt. Rennes showed the explosion. Dortmund showed the fearlessness, beating defenders outside, cutting inside, shooting with either foot before you'd adjusted your shape. That version earned the €105 million move to Barcelona in 2017. But the second truth followed him everywhere. Barcelona had flashes and interruptions, injuries broke rhythm, and the complete version always felt just slightly out of reach. For France, it felt even sharper. Part of the 2018 winning squad, part of the 2022 finalist squad. 2 historic campaigns and still entered 2026 with 11 World Cup appearances and 0 goals. Not because he'd failed France, because the final action never matched the threat. Then PSG changed everything. He stopped looking like a player defined by what might happen and started being defined by what was happening. Champions League title, Champions League Player of the Season, 2025 Ballon d'Or. The complete version finally arrived at club level. But international football doesn't care about club form. France needed that version in blue. Against Senegal, it still didn't show. Senegal crowded the lanes, denied space, and Dembele looked involved but not decisive. Against Iraq, it clicked. Assist from Mbappé first to settle in, then his first ever World Cup goal. After 11 appearances, the number finally moved. 1 goal removes a weight statistics can't explain. Decision-making quickens, the hesitation disappears, shots get taken earlier. Confidence at this level changes execution, not just mood. Against Norway, Dembele played like a man unlocked. Goal in the 7th, another in the 20th, hat-trick by the 32nd. 3 goals before half-time, one of the fastest hat-tricks from kickoff in men's World Cup history. 3 different finishes. The first showed timing and sharpness. The second showed technical range, generating power from distance before the keeper could set. The third showed pure confidence. Norway knew where the danger was coming from. Knowing and stopping are 2 different things when a player can go either way with either foot. Before this tournament, 0 World Cup goals in 11 appearances. Now, 4 in 2 matches. France already had Mbappé bending matches towards him, but if Dembele is now finishing actions with this level of clarity, France's attack becomes something genuinely harder to contain. This isn't potential anymore, this is production. And for the first time at a World Cup, Dembele isn't just part of France's depth, he's one of the reasons the entire tournament has to worry.
3 goals in 32 minutes. That's not just a good night, that's history. Before Dembele, only Just Fontaine and Kylian Mbappé had scored World Cup hat-tricks for France. Fontaine twice in 1958, Mbappé in the 2022 final against Argentina. Dembele's name now sits beside both. Goals in the 7th, 20th and 32nd minutes made it the second fastest hat-trick from kickoff in World Cup history, behind only Austria's Eric Probst against Czechoslovakia in 1954. Modern tournament football doesn't hand out space that quickly. France didn't earn it gradually, they ripped the game open. The record is only half the story though. The real problem for everyone else is what Dembele's form does to France's attacking picture. The old plan against France was simple: stop Mbappé, stay compact, hope nobody else hurts you. That plan is now dead. Send extra bodies at Mbappé and Dembele receives on the opposite side with room. Overprotect Dembele and Mbappé attacks the space. Close both wings and Doué arrives centrally. Press high and Olise connect between the lines. Drop deep and Barcola or Cherki change the game from the bench. That's distribution of threat. It's the hardest thing in football to defend against. Mbappé didn't even score against Norway and still shaped everything. Hit the bar, assisted the opener, pulled Norway's defensive attention all night. That's what created the space for Dembele to operate as the free man. Behind the attack, Kone has quietly become the most important unsung player in this side, covering ground, protecting transitions, letting the attackers stay higher without the team getting exposed. Then Maignan saved a penalty at 3-1 to kill Norway's momentum before it became a story. The knockout path could be brutal. Sweden first, then potentially Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, the USA, Morocco or Portugal. One of the hardest possible routes to the final. And still, the question for everyone remaining is the same. While the world was building game plans around stopping Mbappé, Dembele quietly became the tournament's newest problem.